Spoiler alert.
This is a spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear any spoilers, put your fingers in your ears.
Andy here will be an extra footman while we're in London.
I dare say you enjoy a bit of fun.
Thomas sees this young footman come in, you know, very green, wet behind the ears, and he doesn't like seeing Denker manipulate this innocent young lad, and he sort of steps in.
Why are you bullying him, Miss Denker? Can't you pick on someone your own age?
He'll have fun when he gets there.
Maybe, but I suspect you're a bad influence all the same.
Then I suspect we have something in common, Mr. Barrow.
Cheeky.
We find out that he's a bit of a card shark and wins all his money back for him.
Cash them in and pay your bill. Bye.
And then really has the upper hand over Denker.
Haven't you forgotten something?
What?
Your bill for 3 nights' worth of drinking, Miss Denker.
Who is that at the door? A gentleman called Prince Karagin, milady.
It's just such a delicious storyline, so well delivered. To Julian Fellowes' credit, he is writing about romance for old people.
I wish to spend my final years with you.
This isn't depicted on television. You know, that part of one's life, as far as television and entertainment is concerned, is over. And I think it's to the credit of the show that we say that it isn't over and that people are entitled to romances, relationships, affection throughout their lives.
The last years have been ugly. I don't want what remains to be ugly.
No.
I think it's a beautifully etched tale of autumnal love that could be, you know, revived, of what might have been all those years ago, etc.
You want an answer just like that?
I know my own feelings. You do too.
It would have been a very different story for Violet had Prince Karagin actually carried her off.
It's a major plot point for him this year. His struggle between the people that he now loves and really cares for in the household, and his desire to really do something with his life. He's gone through the period of mourning for his wife. He now has a responsibility of a child, but he also has a responsibility to himself. It's a struggle for him to realise where that is. Is it going to be still within the house, or is it elsewhere? And there's always been talk of Branson and America. So it becomes less of a pipe dream and more of a reality for Branson.
It's from my cousin in Boston. He sells cars, but he wants to expand into farm machinery. That's why he'd like me to come in with him.
Oh, is he opening a branch over here?
No. He's asked me to join him in Massachusetts as a partner.
Who?
Much as he likes Tom, Sibby is actually what Robert cares about most. Sibby is the last vestige of Sybil, his darling daughter, and so he wants to hang on to her as long as possible. He even says to Cora at one point, you know, is there any way we can sort of tell Tom to go to America and we keep Sibby? And she says, don't be ridiculous.
We have our memories, you and I.
But now you'll take them away with you to Boston.
And I'll cherish them when I get there.
They shall grow not old as we that are left grow old.
It's a theme that's rumbled on for generations, actually, whether to pardon or not those poor lads who perhaps were suffering from what we would call post-traumatic stress or you know, shell shock in those days, to be acknowledged and treated with some compassion. In our story, it is a source of conflict, and Mrs. Patmore pleads for Archie's own case.
Mrs. Patmore.
Archie can't be recognised either in his hometown or on the Downton War Memorial, and I think Robert's solution is a very elegant and compassionate one.
It would be a huge, huge deal to her, and makes a small step to sort of healing that terrible, deep wound.
Sacrifice is right.
I think that's lovely, Mrs. Patmore. I'm so pleased for you.
It's just as it should be.
I had no idea when we shot it that this episode would go out on Remembrance Day in the UK. I had messages from England of various people saying, well, I was already crying today, and now I've just finished the day crying all over again. I don't know how that happened, whether that was planned, but it was an extraordinary combination of fact and fiction.